Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. And today I wanted to check in with you all because the energies that I am picking up on are still very heart chakra focused. It's clearing out some energies, and there's a core wound that I am picking up on for myself and probably many of you out there. Because this is a common universal problem that has been getting worse and worse and worse over time, and that is the core wound of loneliness. Now on this hello a wasp on this awakening path, many of you guys find yourself being hermited, put into a place of isolation for your spiritual growth. And in that, it's going to trigger a lot of things inside of us that we've tried very hard to, use all these different techniques over our lifetime to numb, suppress, deny. I've talked a lot about this in recent videos. And loneliness is an interesting core wound because it plays out in our lives. It certainly has in mine, in a lot of how we interconnect in relationship. And because of this core wound that usually manifested at some point in your childhood, perhaps like me, one of the punishment styles that I routinely was given was to be put into isolation and given a timeout. And now these timeouts were torture for me because I had been adopted, and so I already had an attachment wound, I already had an abandonment wound, and so this exacerbated that wound, and it felt like the worst thing ever. I honestly would have rather gotten the physical punishments, which I also received, because they were over and done with in a shorter amount of time than the long, drawn out isolations of being banished and ignored and given the silent treatment and all of these types of energies. And so it was there in that time period between the ages of 3 and however old that those form of punishments continued for, that I developed a coping strategy that I'm going to call the face of the lonely. And now I am in the process of developing my own archetype style, kind of based off the teachings of Jungian teachings, in understanding that we wear different faces, and we incorporate different energies that play out in our lives all different times. I've recently come across the teachings of integrated family systems or IFC, ICF, one of those. Integrated family, IFS. Sorry. And it kind of blew my mind a little bit because this is those teachings are very much in alignment with what I've been doing in my own life for close to 6 or 7 years without even ever knowing that existed. And that was breaking apart myself into all the different segments. So those that have had oracle reads with me and have chosen my prototype deck know that it's all like the depressive, or the lonely, the grief-stricken, it's something that I hope to bring to market sooner or later. I'm looking for an artist to help me finish this project. And anyways, lonely. loneliness, to me, was something that came about, and it's like the hug that you give to yourself, the energy of the hug that you give to yourself. And so through our lives, once we have this core wound or aspect of self, as I like to call it, we then go and have to compensate and feed it. And so a lot of people have been talking to me lately about smoking. And smoking is a way to like give that loneliness, give yourself that sensation of the hug, you know, I'm having a rough day, I'm feeling alone, I'm feeling misunderstood, I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling. And now smoking, I loved smoking. Smoking, I started when I was about 14 or 15, and I smoked. I was a very dedicated smoker because it felt so damn good. And what it was doing was filling that void, that empty feeling. How else loneliness played out, the lonely played out and it's like these energies are playing out in our subconscious. We're not consciously aware of them. We're not consciously aware that, oh, I'm smoking because I'm feeling lonely. Or, oh, I'm chasing after this relationship because I'm feeling lonely. These energies are at play in our subconscious, and it's I kind of look at all the different aspects of self that came about. Okay, so I'm going to go back for a second. Yesterday, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, please go watch it, because yesterday I was talking about the fractured aspects of self and how when we have trauma, a little piece fractures off. And what in that instant happens is there is a hole left, a space left. And so we try to fill that, and that's when these shadow aspects of self come into play, because they are what fill those fractured aspects of self. So they are the polyfill that comes in and says, so wound, sent to my room, feeling isolated and alone and scared and all of these things, fractured off aspect of self, in comes the lonely. And the lonely is going to play out and fill that void and say, okay, I'm going to do things in your life. I'm going to take control of your life without you knowing it, so that I can fill and feed this aspect of self that's missing, this fractured aspect of self that's gone into the ether. So I'm going to fill it with cigarettes. I'm going to fill it with relationship. I'm going to fill it any other ways that you have used. So for me, that was definitely cigarettes. It was also most definitely relationship, because if I now, in my conscious awareness that's happening through this awakening process, can see, well, why did I stay in a toxic, abusive relationship? Why did I tolerate friendships that treated me less than I deserved? Why did I tolerate all kinds of things? And the answer to that question is because of this core wound of lonely, because something was better than nothing. And something, even if it was detrimental, smoking is detrimental for your health, or being in a toxic and abusive relationship is detrimental to your well-being, but it feels better than nothing, than just having that void left behind, open and exposed. And so what do we do about this when we're sitting in the energy of lonely? And we now are consciously aware that, oh, this is what's at play. Well, we sit in it. We honor it. We understand that in sitting in it, we're allowing it to be exposed and brought to light what is missing. Without honoring it and sitting in it and being in it, then we never get that level of awareness of, oh, that's why I do those things that I do. That's why I've got this coping mechanism of smoking. That's why I stay in these dysfunctional relationships, because the sitting in the lonely is way too painful. So these painful things are less painful than this painful thing. And so when we can sit in the worst painful thing, which is the lonely, and converse with it, commune with it, talk with it, be with it without distraction, without distortion, without denial, without numbing, without anything, that's when the magic, that's when the alchemization happens, because we are allowing that lost aspect of self to come back in to create wholeness. And so the mission today is sit in your lonely. I was doing deep meditation and prayer this morning, and the one message that just kept coming over and over was that if God wants me to experience the lonely in order to transmute the lonely, so that I don't carry on doing things and letting lonely drive the bus, if I look at it like there's a bus, and in the bus there is your ego, there's all your aspects of self in the back of the bus, and then there's you in the driver's seat. Well, we want you to be in the driver's seat, your higher self to be in the driver's seat, your soul to be in the driver's seat. But what happens is when we're unconsciously having these shadow aspects of self hop up into the driver's seat, I don't want the lonely driving my bus. I don't want to be making decisions based on loneliness. I don't want to date just for the sake of dating because I'm lonely. No, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's going to treat me less than I deserve. No, I don't want. So I can identify all the things I don't want, but if I'm letting the lonely drive the bus, then that's exactly where lonely is going to drive me, is into all these detours until I finally get the lesson that I'm supposed to sit still and sit in it and experience it, because in the sitting in it, in the experiencing it, in the being more lonely than you can possibly imagine, just, I'm going to be so lonely today, this is my mission. My mission is to be lonely. I'm going to sit in my lonely, because if God wants me to sit in the lonely, there's a lesson for me in the lonely, and it will also help transmute and help me appreciate when I'm in relationship, when I'm in the next thing that comes along. When people do come into my life, I can have gratitude and appreciation because I've fully appreciated, honored, and shown the integrity to the lonely, and understood that the lonely was trying to help me. The lonely was coming in and trying to help a very lost, scared little girl who was alone and isolated in a room when what she needed most of all was comfort, care, telling me everything is going to be okay, because my attachments completely were not attached. I had nothing to attach into. And what that meant is I attached into, from a young age, things that weren't healthy for me. My mind had distortions of what a relationship looked like. And that doesn't just mean romantic relationship, it means any relationship, because in those primary years is when we learn how to interact through our sibling relationships, through our parental relationships, through our friendships. So if in your core, the core family, you're having woundings and traumas happening, it debilitates your ability to go out into the world and function without letting that lonely come in and drive the bus. And sometimes it's going to drive your bus right into crashing and disaster, one thing after another, and you're like, why does this keep happening to me? Because you need to sit in the lonely. So today, it's funny because I broke my toe, and even that is a lesson, and I'm like, right, I get the message. You're wanting me to sit still in meditation, because my comfort zone is to keep myself busy doing stuff, and walking around is painful. So now I have no choice but to sit still, not go for walks to the park, not do the things that I want to do, but to sit in meditation and sit in lonely. Honor the lonely. So today's mission, if you choose to accept it, if you too are experiencing loneliness, is to sit in it, is to honor it, is to ask it when it came about, is to commune with it, is to comfort it, it's to release it, it's to understand the lessons that are attached and associated with it. And let me know how you get on with this one, because this one's challenging. If you want to book with me to discuss some of the lonely, the way to do that will be in the description below. Otherwise, you can email me at justbeing, that's just the letter B, being @gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook at Be Freedom, B-E-E, like the Bumble, Be Freedom. Or you can join the Spiritual Warriors Support Group. The link for that will be in the description below. I want to thank you very much for the donations that I've received. The link to donate to my channel, you can buy me even just a cup of tea or donate. I really, really greatly appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you. All of my services are donation based because I want to help as many people as I can. And this whole awakening process is all kinds of crazy, lonely, frustrating, confusing, you name it, it's everything. And so one after another, we're going to have to sit in each one of those. And if you're struggling with one particular lesson and you want some help on what I did to help transmute my way through that one, please don't hesitate to reach out, leave a comment or a question. And with that said, I am sending you all of my absolute love. And thank you again for all of the love that I am receiving back in regards to likes, the shares, and the subscriptions. So appreciated. Peace out.